Flower drum dance, a folk dance of Anhui province, performed by members of the eastern section of the Peking dance school. now bid goodbye to Peking and leave for the northwest of China. At Xian, we visited the Martyr's Memorial Hall. Dr. Kotness's portrait hangs here along with other heroes who died in the war against the Japanese. We placed wreaths on the graves of Dr. Norman Bethune, a Canadian, and Dr. Kotness, who were colleagues. Dr. Kotness died in 1942 at the age of 32. This military hospital was started in 1938. Dr. Kotness became its director in 1939. Our next halt was at Luoyang, central China, an old cultural center. The entrance to the White Horse Temple, which has a close link with India. In the year 68 AD, 2 Indian monks came here with Buddhist scriptures and relics to spread the faith. The central figure is the monk Kashyapa Matanga, and this is his grave in the temple grounds. Dharmaraksha, the other Indian monk. Tower of 7 clouds built on the design of the Indian monks.
Luoyang is fast becoming industrially important. The tractor plant number 1 is the largest in China. The entire engine is made in the plant. This plant was also set up with the help of Soviet Russia. The Luoyang ball bearing factory is another big plant which started full production in 1958 with Soviet aid. The following processes show the making of the outer casings of the bearings. Steel bars are cut in this machine and shaped into balls. The balls are highly polished in revolving drums. They are then examined and defective ones eliminated. The assembly of the bearings. Each bearing is tested here.
Not far from Luoyang are the famous Lungman or Dragon Gate caves, which attract many visitors. The great Buddha with bodhisattvas and guards. The open-air Fung Tian or Tribute to Heaven temple was carved in the 7th century AD. The outer face of this sandstone hill is honeycombed with big and small grottos. Buddhas in miniature, part of the cave of 1,000 Buddhas. The best preserved huge sculpture of the Buddha is in the temple of the underground fountain. The Lungman caves are cut in the hill on either side of the Yi River.
The Yellow River, China's second largest, is 3,000 miles long and rises in Shanghai province near Tibet. About 100 miles from Luoyang, at this point of the river, is the Sanmen Gorge, or Gorge of 3 Gates. A multi-purpose dam is being constructed here to prevent floods for irrigation, navigation, and power generation of 1 million kilowatts. A most turbulent river. It does incalculable damage each year. Huge cement concrete blocks drop to obstruct the river. High-pressure hoses are used to loosen the earth around the rocks and thus facilitate their removal. The work on this concrete dam is partly mechanized. When the dam is ready, it will be 300 feet high and 2,700 feet long. We were told that this project will cost 160 crores of rupees. We visited was Xian, another old cultural center now being modernized. The People's Mansion, in reality a hotel for state guests and foreign tourists.
Talking about tourists, Shen Chuang, the famous Chinese monk traveler, visited India in the 7th century AD and carried back to Xian the Buddhist scriptures in bamboo frames on his back. A lamp guided him through the night. This tower, 64 meters high, commemorates the place where he translated the scriptures. To help Shen Chuang, 3 monks came from India. This one was named Pukung by the Chinese. A fitting tribute to Shen Chuang, great scholar-traveler, was this tomb built 1200 years ago. Round about Xian is a range of soft, low hills. The natural caves have been utilized as human dwellings since generations. Now they are being gradually evacuated as new accommodation is provided.
From Xian, we flew to Lanchow in the northwestern province of Gansu. The city of Lanchow is built on both sides of the Yellow River and is in the process of being highly industrialized. A project for afforestation of these surrounding earth hills is underway. To supply water for the construction of a new bridge, this huge water wheel was put up. Mud houses such as these are a common sight in China, which they say will be gradually replaced with new housing. The Lanchow oil refinery was in trial production when we visited it, and it will be in regular production this year. It will process annually 1 million tons of crude oil, which comes from Yeoman oil wells about 300 miles northwards. At sunrise the next day, we flew to little-known Urumqi, capital of the vast Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, our destination in the extreme northwest. Urumqi, once a small town, is developing into a modern city with its shopping center, theater, university, and medical college with 500 students. The population of Xinjiang is 6 million, the great majority of whom are Muslims. On a Friday, we visited the Urumqi Mosque and saw a few Muslims at prayer. Most of them were elderly people. Muslims of various types, such as Uyghurs, Kazaks, Kyrgyz, Tajiks, Uzbeks, and Tatars, live in Xinjiang. One of the traditional handicrafts of Urumqi is the making of embroidered caps, worn by men and women. An important local industry is the making of indigenous musical instruments of various types. A very famous product of Xinjiang since ages past is the honey-sweet, large desert melon, which has no rival in the world. Xinjiang also grows very good quality grapes, peaches, and apples. Xinjiang is mostly uninhabitable desert and scrub country. A growing network of canals and waterways is giving new life to the land. Cotton is one of the major crops in the communes and is partly supplied to the local textile mill. It is already the beginning of November, and this late crop is being harvested to save it from heavy snowfalls, which will start any day. 20 miles north of Urumqi is the five-star People's Commune. Everybody is busy threshing the wheat crop by manual and mechanized methods. Urumqi also has its native-style iron and steel furnaces. Here in the hills, they have hundreds of these small setups where 4,000 people from all walks of life come to put in their quota of work.
At the People's Theatre that evening, we saw an excellent performance of songs and dances. The melon dance. She's planting the seeds now. Plants are growing beautifully. There is a storm. She's frightened. She covers the plants. The storm is over. She uncovers the plants. She is happy. The fruit is ready. She taps the melon to see if it is ripe. She tastes the fruit. It is delicious. Tambourine dance. the red flower dance. A song, My Motherland.
Not far from Urumqi, in the southern mountains, is the East Wind People's Commune. The countryside here is wild and sparsely populated. The main occupation of the people is rearing of sheep and cattle. It is already late autumn, and the trees and bushes are covered with frost. The commune is made up of 3 squad teams. We visited the second squad team, comprising over 300 people. They live in felt tents, as they do on the grasslands of Inner Mongolia. The people are Kazak Muslims of Mongolian origin, unlike the Uyghur Muslims who are of Aryan stock. The commune supplies food free, but those camping away get rations and an additional allowance. For fresh air and light, the tent has an opening at the top, which can be closed when it is cold. The horse and the double-humped camel are the only means of transport here. Children learn to ride at an early age. One of the main sports for enjoyment is horse racing. Men and women take part, but no betting is allowed. Time sport is a woman rider chasing her husband. If she catches up with him, she is the boss. Look out, a woman goes for a spill. Kazakhs are a strong, sturdy, outdoor people. It is cold here all the year round, and the fur cap is a necessary fashion. Even the goat wears a heavy coat. From Urumqi, we flew southwestwards to Chongqing, wartime capital of China. Chongqing is built on a series of hills and slopes. Large indoor stadiums like this have been built in all the big cities of China. The People's Auditorium, an imitation of the Temple of Heaven in Peking, which the Chinese themselves criticize as being too ostentatious. From Chongqing, we journeyed down the Yangtze Gorges by boat to Wuhan, the Triple City. A voyage of 600 miles took 2.5 days through fascinating country with the great Yangtze River cutting through the mountains. It is China's largest and most turbulent river, 3,600 miles long. 10,000 miles of the river and its tributaries are navigable. At Wuhan is the recently built double-decker bridge over the Yangtze River. 70 feet wide and nearly 3/4 of a mile long, it connects the three cities of Hangchow, Wukang and Hanyang into the triple city of Wuhan. Construction on this bridge, made possible with the aid of Soviet engineers and experts, is a major feat in engineering because of the great depth and tremendous velocity of the river here. The Wuhan Iron and Steel Company is China's second largest steel base, next to Anshan. The plant has one blast furnace with a capacity of 1,500 tons of iron a day, and 3 more are under construction. It has 8 Martyr furnaces for steel. This modern plant was designed, equipped and built by Soviet technicians. The mechanized unloading of wagons is a new innovation. We were told that there will be 6 coke furnaces, of which 2 are at present working. Here is molten metal coming out of the blast furnace. It is estimated that when the plant is in full production, its annual output will be over 2 million tons of steel.
The next town we visited was Hangchow on the West Lake, a historic beauty spot and health resort surrounded by hills. The Hangchow Hotel has a fine situation overlooking the lake. One of the oldest Buddhist temples in China is this Lin Yin temple. A huge statue of Maitreya, the coming Buddha, was carved from camphor wood in 1952 by the East China Fine Arts Institute. Hangchow is also known for its silk brocades and tapestry pictures. The looms, though semi-mechanized, use very intricate charts for weaving these tapestries. The resulting tapestries, both in monotone and in color, copies of paintings by famous artists, have a photographic quality. Autumn is chrysanthemum time in China. All big cities have flower shows to exhibit the many rare varieties, colors and decorative arrangements of these flowers. Hangchow is famous for its chrysanthemums. To the north of Hangchow is Nanking, famed for the magnificent tomb of the late Dr. Sun Yat-sen. He was responsible for the overthrow of the last of the emperors in 1911 and established a democratic government. Unfortunately, he died quite young in 1925. Had he lived, the history of modern China may have been quite different. This is where his body rests. The tomb commands a magnificent view of the park and surrounding countryside.
5 hours by train from Nanking is the great seaport of Shanghai on the Pacific, the last city we visited. This was once a big international port with most of the Western countries having foreign concessions in it. They built here skyscrapers, hotels and huge buildings to house their business and industries. But Shanghai has expanded its industries today, and the value of the products manufactured here is 20% of the total value of the entire production of China. The Soviet friendship building here, like the China Exhibition Center in Peking, is a gift from the USSR. At the All China Export Trade Exhibition is a permanent display of textiles, textile machinery, X-ray equipments, China ware, porcelain, and exquisite handicrafts. The traditional arts of China, which had been neglected, have been improved and organized into cooperatives.
Shanghai is also a big film production center. The scene being shot in the Seagull studio shows Madame Chen Yi, one of China's top stars, acting in the film Red Seeds. She told us her salary was about 600 rupees a month, and besides acting has to do manual work in the countryside in her spare time. A park dedicated to the late Lu Xun, China's famous short story writer and novelist, 1881 to 1936. This effective portrait is done in red and green garden hedging. The Lu Xun Museum contains exhibits of his life and writings. Lu Xun's works have been translated into several languages, and his best-known novel RQ, The Story of a Boy and His Pigtail, was translated into Hindi and Urdu by the late Munshi Premchand. Since women in China have to work equally hard as men, the children are taken care of by the state in residential kindergartens and nurseries. This is one of the nurseries in the workers' colony in Shanghai. Though children are well looked after and disciplined, they surely must miss the real affection which only parents can give, judging from the way in which these little ones clung to us perfect strangers when we visited them. Garden of the China Welfare Institute, under the direction of Madame Sun Yat-sen, is also a residential institute and has 400 children from the ages of 3 to 7. It is mainly for the children of doctors, educationalists, artists and writers. The charges are 23 yuan a month per child, and the parents supply the clothes. In other words, it is for the children of those who are comparatively better paid. Children receive education according to the directions of Chairman Mao Zedong and are trained on the socialistic basis, we were told. The Children's Palace in Shanghai is housed in one of the old palatial private homes with huge grounds. About 2,000 children from the ages of 9 to 15 come here daily from different schools in their spare time to learn hobbies and play and relax. Those children who are gifted are encouraged in their particular aptitude. An embroidery class. Class in radio mechanics. Here they learn to make iron and steel. Ballet dancing. A dance performance by the children. This is the turnip dance, a theme now familiar amongst children all over China. A child is trying to pull out a huge turnip in the garden but fails. She calls two friends to help, but they too fail. More children join. They pull hard. At first they fail. They put in more effort. And finally succeed. The theme teaches the concept of collectivism and the slogan, use all efforts to achieve results. A puppet show tells the story of Liu and his two brothers. Liu is unjustly accused of theft, and the guard is asked to arrest him and take him forcibly to jail. But Liu, though small, is stronger than the guard. He has a firm grip on the guard and lifting the heavy bully throws him in the river. But Liu is ready to tackle anybody. The poor clerk meets with the same fate as the guard. There he goes. The Liu brothers come to Liu's help. A violent struggle ensues, and the hated landlord goes to his watery grave. Now that the villain is dead, the world is happy, including the animals. Lotus Dance, performance by the Shanghai Workers' Dance and Dramatic Group. This effect of roller skating is got by gliding on the feet. Lion dance.
At Shanghai, we said goodbye to our kind hosts. We had toured 12,000 miles in 3 months through this vast country, seeing China on the march.